This lecture covers some key points related to chapters 1 through 3 of your textbook. Please ensure you read the chapters. Let's start with Chapter 1. What is psychology? Remember, the operational definition is psychology equals the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. Something that may not have been mentioned previously, there are 4 goals of psychology. 1. Describe. What's happening? An example would be, he is texting in class. 2. Explain. Why is it happening? The example for this is, he's bored or avoiding stress. 3. Predict. When will it happen again? He'll text whenever lectures get dull. 4. Control, influence. Can we change it? Think of it this way. Engage him with a funny meme example. One way to help with the memory trick is to use DEPC. Describe, explain, predict, control. Think. Don't ever panic. Chill. Next are perspectives in psychology, like lenses in funky glasses. Biological. It's the brain, hormones, or genes. Cognitive. It's how we think and interpret. Behavioral. It's all about learned behavior. Psychodynamic. Unconscious motives. Thanks, Freud. Humanistic. Personal growth, free will, self-actualization. Sociocultural. Don't forget society, culture, and context. Evolutionary. Survival of the most adaptive. Biological. Your blood sugar dropped. Cognitive. You thought, I deserve this. Behavioral. Midnight snacking became a habit. Psychodynamic. Maybe mom never let you have sweets as a kid. Chapter 2 is about how psychologists are scientists. In the big scheme of things, psychology isn't just common sense, it's science. Scientific method, psychological version. We observe and ask questions. Questions help us to formulate a hypothesis. Educated guess, not a wild one. Once a hypothesis is conceptualized, we then test it. This is done utilizing experiments, surveys, etc. Once we have our data, we analyze the results. You would report your findings by getting it published. We then attempt to see if the study is valid by replicating it and repeating the study. One way to see how this plays out is through the use of this example. The hypothesis. Coffee before class makes students more alert. Test it. Give half the class coffee, half decaf. Measure alertness. Voila, science in action. And it can be as simple as that. Research methods, tools in the toolbox, case study, in-depth but cannot be generalized, such as studying one celebrity's childhood trauma. Survey, quick and broad, but people may fib. Yes, I floss daily. Naturalistic observation, observe behavior in real-world settings, as seen in Jane Goodall's work with chimps. Experiment, the gold standard, control variables, test cause and effect. Independent versus dependent variable. Independent equals what you change. An example, amount of caffeine. Dependent equals what you measure. For example, alertness scores. To help you remember, try this trick. Independent equals I manipulate. Dependent equals depends on that. Now let's review Chapter 3, Biological Bases of Behavior. The big picture for this chapter is that your brain is like your personal Wi-Fi router, sending signals everywhere. We discussed at length the neurons and how neurons are the texting system of the body. Remember, the dendrites, receive messages like an inbox. The soma or cell body keeps cells alive like the power station. Your axon sends messages out like the send button. Then you have the myelin sheath, which speeds up the signal, like fiber internet versus dial-up. The nodes of Ranvier are those tiny spaces between the myelin sheath that help push the neural impulses through the axon. Terminal buttons drop neurotransmitters into the synapse, tiny chemical messengers. Now we briefly spoke about the all or none law. Neurons either fire or they don't. No half send. Like pressing send on a text. It either goes or it doesn't. Remember, neurons help communication within your body. There are billions of neurons, all with a purpose. I want to introduce you to neurotransmitters, chemical messengers. First, we have dopamine. This neurotransmitter actually has several facets to it. Mainly, it's associated with pleasure and reward, the yay chemical. However, it also helps with coordinating movements and maintaining muscle tone. Abnormalities in dopamine levels have been linked to Parkinson's disease. Then you have serotonin equals mood, sleep, and appetite, as well as bowel movements. Some medications help boost serotonin levels and improve mood. Too little serotonin is linked to depression. The neurotransmitter I would like to introduce to you is acetylcholine, which is involved in muscle contraction, memory, attention, arousal, sleep, and the unconscious functioning of the autonomic nervous system, including the regulation of heart rate, blood pressure, and digestion. It plays a critical role in the somatic nervous system for voluntary movement and in the central nervous system for higher cognitive functions such as learning and memory. It is also linked to Alzheimer's disease. Next, we have endorphins, involved in pain relief, stress reduction, and feelings of pleasure or well-being. They are naturally produced in the body and act on opioid receptors to block pain signals and produce euphoric effects. Everyday activities that stimulate endorphin release include exercise, laughter, eating dark chocolate, and engaging in other pleasurable experiences. Lastly, let's talk about norepinephrine, which is involved in regulating the fight or flight stress response, as well as functions like alertness, attention, mood, sleep, and blood pressure. It works in the brain as a neurotransmitter and in the body as a hormone, influencing various physiological and behavioral responses. Here's a quick overview of the nervous system split. Just remember that the central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord, command center. The peripheral nervous system, known for being the delivery drivers. It is involved in sensing the environment, voluntarily moving muscles, and regulating unconscious bodily processes like heart rate, digestion, and breathing. It does this by transmitting sensory information from the body to the brain and sending motor commands from the brain to muscles and organs. The peripheral nervous system is divided into the somatic nervous system for conscious actions and the autonomic nervous system for involuntary functions. Somatic, voluntary, raising your hand. Autonomic, involuntary, heart beating. The autonomic is divided into two additional systems. That being said, the sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the fight-flight. If your body was a car, then the sympathetic nervous system would be the gas pedal. Then you have the parasympathetic nervous system. It's responsible for keeping your body calm and entering a resting state. It's also responsible for digestion. Think of it as being the brake pedal. Student-friendly study tips for this week's examination. To start with, 1. Chunk it, don't cram it. Break up your study sessions into 25 to 30-minute chunks, Pomodoro style. Understand that your brain loves snack-sized info, not an all-you-can-eat buffet the night before the exam. So don't stuff yourself. Pace yourself. Think of it like pizza slices. One at a time is enjoyable. Eating the whole pie in 10 minutes, instant regret. Next tip is to 2. Talk it out. Explain concepts to a friend, your dog, or even your mirror. If you can teach it simply, you truly understand it. So reframe the material into your own words. Mirror the info with someone or yourself in an actual mirror. So neurons fire all or none. You would then say, exactly. Mirror, I look fabulous while learning. Then there's 3. Mix it up. Rotate topics. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, back to 1. It keeps your brain awake and helps build stronger connections. Studying only neurotransmitters for 3 hours straight? Snooze. Mixing methods, perspectives, and experiments? Brain party. Finally, create some memory tricks. Acronyms, silly stories, or visuals stick better than rote memorization. Example: DEPC equals describe, explain, predict, control. Don't ever panic. Chill. Make a goofy song. No one has to hear it but you. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. Please refer to the textbook, the lectures, the videos, and the PowerPoint slide to help you along the way. The practice exams are open until Thursday, September 11th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Immediately following midnight, the first examination will open. It will remain open until 11:59 p.m. Once you start the exam, you will have 3 hours to complete the examination. As a reminder, this week there will not be any face-to-face classes. You will have this video lecture, a pre-recorded video lecture, and the practice quizzes to help you along the way. Please be sure to take full advantage so that you can do well on the first exam. Oh, and one other thing. Please make every effort to take the exam. Although I offer one makeup for the first 2 exams, you will need to have appropriate documentation. If you have extracurricular activities, then you need to wake up earlier, as you have a full 24 hours to take the exam. If you have any technical issues, please get in touch with the JSUIT support and send me a message. They are only available between 8 to 5 p.m. I will be checking the inbox in Canvas periodically until 6 p.m.